thing about being alone versus being lonely, the alone time is the golden time. That's when you have the opportunity. In fact, that's when the guides, they know that you've positioned yourself for this, that you are sitting in a prime, deliberate space for them to reach you. They see everything you do. They know everything about you. They know you better than you know yourself. And the best part of this relationship is they are there to help you where you are in your life right now. Okay? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you need, that drive in the car, that moment in the shower when that guidance came through, the dream, you know, the hunch, the nudge, that knowingness that you got. Let's talk about that. Okay. Linda's weekly guided insights. So be sure that you're signed up to receive them, and don't forget to tell your friends. Tell your friends about these weekly guided insights so that they can get the help that they need too. These insights are very timely with regard to where we are in the world right now as they navigate us through these challenging times to come. And that's the whole looking back. When did you get guidance that you hesitated to act on, only to realize that your life could have been much easier and more exciting had you followed their timely guidance? About your journal. Remember how we've talked about the journal? We've talked about how keeping a journal, writing things in your journal about what's been happening, the guidance you've been getting, the little one-liners, whatever it is, that feeling that you know it came from somewhere. It didn't come from you. It came through you from somewhere. And we asked you guys to write those things down in your journal so that at the end of 1 month, if you do this and you do it diligently, at the end of 1 month, you are going to see a pattern and a connection. You're going to see how these things are connected and how in a larger stroke, brush stroke, that this is how the guides communicate with you all of the time. It's just that you've never tracked it. You've never realized how to go about harnessing this information, free information that's timely and specific to you, okay? So we want to hear about that. We want to hear about, if you didn't write it in your journal, then what is it you remember that you should have written in your journal? Share that with us. Let's get in there and look into this, and your guides are going to answer you on that. Okay, so when we talk about being alone, I mean, everybody at one point in their life has really felt lonely, seriously lonely. I think that happens when something is immediately pulled from our life. Let's say your pet passes away. I mean, you're devastated. It's past lonely. You lost your best friend. So there's that kind of lonely. And what does that mean? What happens? How does that translate? There's no accidents. So it's not supposed to hurt you. It's not supposed to hurt them, the ones that have left, that had to leave, all right? So there's some of that. What lonely, Ray?
What else for lonely? You could be in a family that doesn't appreciate you. You can have a lot of kids. You can have, a spouse, and you can have a lot of people that don't appreciate what you do for the family, and you can feel isolated and lonely.
Right.
That's how I ended up with 10 cats.
That's how you ended up with 10 cats.
That's right.
And at the time, when you got
and a dog.
When you got those animals, did you realize that was a reaction to feeling so lonely?
Not at the time, but it helped me not feel lonely.
Okay. When did you realize? When did you put all that together?
Probably within the last couple of years.
Okay. Now, how long ago was it when you had all those animals? Over 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like?
No, 15 to 20 years ago.
About 15 to... And he only put this all together in the last couple of years, where you realized what?
That they were a substitute for...
An empty life.
Right.
Okay. So he was married, and he had a son, and they absolutely, pretty much, had nothing to do with Ray. And Ray was the breadwinner, so he took care of the family, and he was there for them, and he did everything like a good husband and father, and he wasn't appreciated. So, and even at the time when it ended, you didn't end it, did you, Ray?
Nope.
What happened, Ray?
She decided to have an affair with her high school boyfriend.
Okay, so basically, they took what was of no interest to them, and both of them, in their own way, took that to a larger level. They actually acted on it, and that was the end of it. And then Ray, his first knee-jerk reaction was, once he left that situation, was to go out and get all those animals back in his life again. Get a little ranch. He was going to call it Ray's Ranch, Ray's Kitty Cat Ranch, because he loved the kitty cats, right?
Yeah.
And that, now, if you had done that, look at your life right now. Look what I mean, that wasn't the answer. The answer was looking into the why. Why do we do these things? Why, if he was to do that, he'd just go out and repeat what he did before. Had learned nothing had he done that. It's not about repeating all this stuff. It's about going, okay, that's me in action. That's the stuff I did. Why did I do it? It's looking back at it. It's retracing your steps, connecting the dots, and realizing what really happened while all that seemed to be happening, all right?